had that before the profiles. We could have got the profiles by hand, but why don't we do that? So then then we start to put things together, right? We've got what we drew up, but we've also got profiles, we've got civil 3D alignments. Then what did we need in order to continue with our design? We had an alignment, a profile. We need something else that almost gave way. We need a cross section. So that's kind of where we started last week. We're going to start there again this week. So what did we do to create that cross section? We already have it kind of decided because we already have our horizontal alignment and the link configuration. But what did we do to create it?
We had to add each individual lane to the left and right shoulder and the median.
Yeah, and that was with which function? Or which feature of civil?
Assembly.
Yep. Yep, assembly. So if we create the assembly, give it a name if we want to change it. My tool palette is right here, just below and right of tool space, the tool space button. Actually, let me do this real quick. Yeah, we don't. Okay, then we start building from the inside out. What's your name? I just left the name alone as what it defaults to. I think it was mainline cross section.
Which one did you pick? What are the tool parts?
Haven't gotten there yet.
Oh.
In order to put this here, I went under assembly and create some. Because this palette is kind of assuming that we're editing an existing assembly, but there is no assembly, there's no, this kind of, the baseline designates or specifies that this is an assembly.
How did you get that pop up on the side?
This?
Yeah.
It's the tool palettes button, which is just to the right of tool space, button on the far left of the ribbon, on the home tab. Okay, so I started with median. I think last week we did the median flush with barrier. I think. Yes.
Yes.
I think we did. So why don't we try this time? Why don't we try a median crest shoulder extended? So if I so if I if I click on that center circle of the baseline, it's not gonna look like something shows up because it's the ditch on the depressed median's a little below. So you don't need to press it a bunch of times.
Professor, what did you click to after the tool palette? What did you click to get that yellow stuff?
Over here?
Yeah.
On the medians tab, I chose median, depressed, shoulder, extended.
Okay. And then I click in the middle.
Yeah, and then once you've selected that option, you select the circle in the middle of the baseline of the new assembly.
Got it.
Okay, then I can modify the properties of this. Right, so if I select the median subassembly, I can change its change it to the proper widths. So we have, how wide is the median here? Kind of close.
40.
Officially, yeah, officially 46, and that includes the 5 foot left shoulders. Yep. So if it's 46 feet wide, what is the width of each side of our median? Yep. So our left median width will change to 23 and 23. Blue, median red, median width. Paved shoulder was what? Was 5.
22. Or just the half.
Okay, the rest of these properties look okay enough. If we had a different ditch slope, we might change it to a different slope. The Florida one's okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I found the properties.
Well, you type in key in properties,
Okay.
but make sure that you don't have anything selected or you haven't entered that command yet. So I guess you can have things selected. You just
I'm
can't.
supposed to have that thing selected, you know?
This over here.
No, blue thing. Yeah, like how you just unselected it.
What about it?
Okay, but I'm trying to get that for the little properties things.
Okay. So don't select anything.
Okay.
And then type properties. And then when you click enter or spacebar, it'll pull up this properties palette like this. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, and then if you want to, you can dock it, just drag it over to the right side.
Uh-oh. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, what happened?
Nah, it's just, if I try and put it over there, it like disappears.
It's because you've entered the medians command. You gotta escape a couple times. I was making that mistake too. So make sure you've escaped a couple times and then enter the properties without having anything.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
That looks okay. Okay. So then we've got the median with left shoulders. Then we've got what? Yes, we got 2 travel lanes on each side. And we found those on, where you find it, lanes, the lanes tab. This first one lane super elevation AOR. AOR meaning axis of rotation. Okay, and then outside, yes.
Sorry, what was the dimension of the paved after the you changed it to 23?
Like on the median?
Yeah.
Yeah, 23 on the side.
And then what was the paved dimension? Or did you change it at all? Or?
Paved dimension, where is that? Like these down here, paved one depth,
Yeah.
extension, I just left those alone.
The paved one extension and the paved shoulder width?
Yeah, I left those alone. The shoulder, you've got your, where is it? You've got your paved shoulder, you changed to 5.
To 5.
Yeah, to match the 5-foot shoulder. The others, what this is kind of saying is that you've got pavement 1 extension, pavement 2 extension. Those are both 0, so we're not extending it beyond. And then you got the depths is kind of self-explanatory.
Okay.
Those are just the thicknesses of the pavement and the layers.
And Mike keeps making 2.
Your what?
I think he making 2 of them.
2 what's?
Like, the little leaves and everything, they got 2 of them there.
Of this one right here?
Well, mine's not wide for some reason, but yeah.
It's not what?
Mine's not like wide
Was
like
it too
yours.
little?
Yeah, because it has two.
Well, did you choose the right, the same median?
Alright, yeah.
I chose a median depressed shoulder extended.
Yeah, there's something there.
Okay, outside of the travel lanes, we've got the right shoulder. Do what twice? So I already I've already thrown 2 lanes on here. You can do that, or you can do 1 lane and change its width to 24 feet. It means the same thing.
Oh.
Sorry, which one is the one at the end? Like,
This?
yes.
These are the lane super elevation AR.
Oh, what, you're sort of right, what did you use?
Okay, we got shoulder. We can do the, let's see, the shoulder extend subbase.
Shoulder extensor space.
And then that shoulder width is 10 feet. And it's, the shoulder and subbase slopes are -5, not -6.
What's it called?
What is what?
What are those called? What are those, the last one you did that, they're called,
Shoulder extend subbase. It's on the shoulder tab.
Oh, yeah.
So it's on lanes, and then just that first one right here. And, when you've entered it, you know, you just find out on the side on the properties, mine is going to show the left. So I would, just build it off the left side.
Like you get like 2 flags to slow through on.
It will, I think it will do that, until you do the other side.
On the right side?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right adding to the right side, and I believe it will move one flag over to the right.
Okay.
Yeah. I added shoulder extend sub base.
What are the dimensions, like what did you change?
Of what?
Did you make the shoulder 10 or,
In which sub-assembly?
the end of?
So the,
The pointing ones, the ones you just showed me.
okay, these right here,
Yeah.
the right shoulders?
The right, yeah, the shoulder extended something.
Okay, yeah, so I changed the width to 10, so a shoulder width to 10 feet, and I changed the default shoulder slope to -5%, and I changed the default sub-base slope to -5%. Okay, and then on the basic tab, we added the daylighting feature, the basic side slope cut ditch. Let's see, adding it to both sides. And I changed each of these 4 slopes here to 4 to 1. So cut slope 4 to 1, fill slope 4 to 1, slope 4 to 1, foreslope slope 4 to 1, back slope 4 to 1, okay? 4 to 1, 4 to 1. What is it? Yeah, all the others are 4 to 1 already, so I just need to cut slope.
Wait, which one is that one?
This is on the basic tab, the basic slide slope cut ditch.
Basic size.
You said cut slope was to 4?
I just click them
Yeah.
on here.
Okay, so then what did we do next last week?
What? You changed the dimensions.
Change what?
You changed the dimensions of those red things?
These?
Yeah.
The only thing I changed was the cut slope. I changed it from 2 to 1 to 4 to 1.
No, that's stupid. Don't do that.
Do we select the line? You want to make a corridor out of it now?
There's one step before that, and what we did, yep, we selected the alignment in the center line of the highway, and we gave it super elevation. So we select that alignment, super elevation, calculate / edit super elevation.
super elevation.
So, I selected the alignment and the condition ribbon pops up. I dropped out super elevation and calculated slash edit super elevation.
That's a great one.
And then we entered the super elevation wizard. Pops this window up right here. Selected the entire, or selected the option to have it calculate super elevation for the entire line. Okay. We left this one alone because it's already, we're kind of expecting it to be divided planar.
Which curve did you choose? Or 1 or 2?
I chose, in the super elevation wizard, I chose it, I told it to select, do it for the whole line.
Entire
Yeah. Alright, so we got 2 lanes in each direction. 2 12-foot lanes in each direction. Shoulders. Okay. We changed this to the outside, to the right shoulder width. And we can see that it changes both the inside median shoulders and the outside shoulders. But we care about the outside. And this final window right here, we didn't change anything, we just checked. We checked to make sure that it's got that it's using the right super elevation Emax chart. So it's defaulting, or it's telling us that it's gonna use a 10% chart. And is that the correct chart to use? I guess that there is a possibility that it could be 8% depending on where we were. Yep. But aside from that, is this the right one?
Yeah.
Yes, because this is a multi-lane highway. Right, and then we got 2/3 of the super elevation runoff will be on the tangent, which is what we want. So we can click finish. And this time it didn't give us all those errors because we used we didn't use any sub-assemblies that don't accept the super elevation or that have trouble with super elevation. And you may remember from last week that we got 5.2% super elevation rate. It's giving us the same here because it's the same geometric configuration. So once we got this, as long as we don't see any errors, we're just using this for our information. We can close it up by clicking that check mark, and then exit out of this super elevation curve and go out.
So all that's telling us is that is doable for this alignment. That's what the assembly and the super elevation that we have set is doable for this alignment.
Well, not only that, it's also kind of assigning super elevation to the alignment itself, so that when it creates the cross sections, it'll appropriately bank the roadway. Because it won't naturally inherently do that by itself. You have to kind of tell it. And you normally, and with the project, you will get kind of like a confirmation that it was successful when there will be these little, I mentioned it last week, but there will be these little triangles that pop up. Kind of, that run across the alignment here. And that will tell you that these are the super elevation, key points. But, for some reason, this file's a little messed up, so it's not showing it to us, even though it I think it has something to do with the style. I think I changed the style and it turned off the visibility on whatever type of object it creates to designate that super elevation. Then we put together corridors. So does everyone have any questions? Is everyone here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, you're here.
Yeah.
Good. All right, I'm glad. Okay.
Sound glad?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm glad you're glad.
I couldn't find it, thank you.
All right, and then after adding super elevation, we created our corridor.
Actually, hey, I got like hella exclamation marks on my stuff.
Why?
I got giant orange triangles.
Okay, we'll hover over one of those giant orange triangles and tell me what it says.
Main line. No, I just tell this is giving me stats.
If you hover over it, it should. If you just
Oh,
hover
wait,
it.
oh, there we go. Minimum K for stopping site distance finally.
Minimum K for stopping second. Okay. Really? But I didn't get it?
I don't know, maybe I just,
What is already there?
Huh?
Hey, look, she got them too.
yeah.
You mean these down here?
Oh,
Like,
so you got them.
on the profile.
You're probably alignment.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, mine are like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are here. Look, if I do this, ready? See how they get
Oh.
big?
Oh.
Like that?
Nah, but if I was zooming in, mine get. Never mind. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. What that is because I chose when I put this file together, I chose the absolute minimum allowable vertical curve lengths, but those are too sharp. So for the site distance, we would need to lengthen those curves, but that's what those are for. It doesn't have any. We're not concerned about that right now.
So I'm fine if mine just look like this.
Yeah, if you so zoom in a little bit and then okay, and now type in RE.
Type in RE.
Yep. RE. Enter. Yes. It just
Pretty
resets.
good at this.
Yeah, that's what they pay me for. Okay, yes. Now we can create our corridor. So we drop down on the corridor. Actually, and what I can do is we can close that tool palette. We don't need that anymore. So we can drop down the corridor option, corridor drop down in the create design panel on the home tab ribbon. Oops, not profile, corridor. Yep. You can give it a name or leave it as what defaults here. Normally it would default to something else, but because the file that I put on the canvas has this as preset, that's what it's preset to. Then what did we do from here? There's a few things that we need to search for.
We need to go to alignment and check the main line.
Okay, yep, we want to make sure that we're choosing the right alignment for the corridor that we want to create.
And
Which-
then go to profile.
Yep, same thing, profile. This would be the third one, proposed mainline CL, that's the shortest one, shortest option. And then we got assembly. There's only one assembly here, but for your project, you are going to end up with either 3 or 4 assemblies, depending on how you work things. So when you go to create your corridors, you want to make sure that you match the corridor, or you want to match the assembly with the proper assembly with the proper alignment. And then we targeted the existing surface. Clicked OK. Clicked apply. Rebuilt. It gave us all these errors, which is fine. You can click out down at the bottom here and back in. Probably get all these errors, and we can close out. And so then we see this, right? This corridor.
Right here.
Then you can see it kind of looks like a, I guess, we'll say this looks like an eel or something. It kind of gets wider in areas.
It's like an arrow.
Huh? Yeah.
Like an arrow.
Yeah, could, yeah, with the feathers right here, or whatever they're called. There's a technical term, I don't know what
Yeah, like
the feathers are
thicker
called.
Here's where it gets all
is.
Yes, it is. All right, and then so we got areas of cut right in the red, and we get areas of fill in the purple.
Oh, that's what those are?
Yep.
Took me a whole week to know.
Yeah. Oh, the third one, the shortest one.
My red lines are a lot thinner, like smaller than
It's probably fine, but we see.
like, you know, like compared to this and like pretty much compared to you,
Uh-huh.
this right here, like yours is like they're bigger and expanded.
Oh, I see. So that, let's see. The only reason why that might be the case would be, let's see, if well, it could be a couple things. If the assembly is narrower,
Okay.
or if the profile is lower,
Okay.
like if the profile ended up getting modified somehow,
Okay.
then it would be different.
So will that be a problem like later on? Can we go on?
For what we do here, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay, just wanna make sure.
And what we can see actually, this is a good thing.
Good thing to point out. So let's go ahead and do this. Ready? Go ahead. So everyone, take a look at how your corridor looks. Right? Okay. So now, Ring. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's take this. So if you zoom into this. Zoom into this PVI right here. And then click on this, the arrow that points to the right, up and to the right, and drag it over this way till it's like really deep into the hillside. Alright, and then place it. Oh, here we go. Alright, so now what you'll notice, it didn't give us a warning, but you can see right here, corridors, there's a little exclamation mark. So ready? Watch this. If you've changed that profile and you open the corridors and you right click on mainline CL corridor and you rebuild it, you'll see what's going to happen. Rebuild it again, but you'll see it got wider.
Oh.
How did I what?
Added corridors in the tool space.
Oh, in the tool space on the prospector tab. there, you should be able to expand corridors. Oh,
I
not
don't know,
there,
you
yeah.
can build it or whatever?
Yeah.
Right click.
You right click, yep. Right click on it and build. So that's one of the great, yes.
When I made my corridor, I didn't just put fill and cut lines, areas.
Okay, so that means either that you didn't, so I guess it could mean a couple things. One, did you use the right, let's see, did you use the right profile when you were creating the corridor? Which one did you use?
The one you said supposed to be on.
The third one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, did you choose the target surface at the bottom? Okay, so that would be it. So that's one of the really great things about Civil 3D as opposed to Synchro, not Synchro, as opposed to MicroStation and Inroads, is that this software kind of does all this stuff in one package, whereas MicroStation and Inroads have to work together as two simultaneous softwares. And this will dynamically update as we change that profile.
Are we putting it back now?
Yeah.
Why? Put it back?
Why? So I'm gonna make it much smaller. See that mine got much smaller than it was. Here. All right. And that's pretty much where we left off last week, right?
I think so.
Yep. And then what we did, just to view it, you know, what we did is we selected and right clicked. We selected the corridor, right clicked, and we expanded the modify corridor sections and then chose a corridor section editor. And in that view, we were able to see at a certain station what the cross section looked like. So if I go over like 90 something.
You have to like this and then.
Yeah.
Oh.
Although I'm seeing this, there's also an issue with this one too.
Oh.
It didn't happen last week. Yeah. If you select the corridor, right click, and then expand the, what is it, edit corridor properties or something like that here.
Why is it?
Select it, right click, modify corridor sections, there we go. Modify corridor sections and then corridor section editor. This is more or less just a tool to see a bunch of information all at the same time. We can see the alignment that's being used up in the top left, we can see the profile that's being used in the top right, we can see the assembly that's being used in the bottom right, and the actual cross section at a certain station, which is specified up here. So this is just kind of a tool to use. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is, of course, gonna be new. So let's do this. Would you like to take a short break? No, okay, I'm getting more, lots of no's. Cool. No.
Are you about to build something crazy?
No, just because we have the time. But we can power through this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right, okay, this part is kind of cool and fun, because this is where we can see the 3D component that we created. So if you select the corridor, once again, and up here in the condition ribbon, you'll see this this selection kind of on the left end in the modified corridor panel. You've got the option, you got the corridor surfaces button. If you click on that button, it will bring up the corridor surfaces creation menu or window. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically press two buttons on this tab and then move to the boundaries tab. First, we're going to click the button on the left. There's these three buttons. We're going to click the one on the left, and that's, if you hover over it, it says create a corridor surface. So now we've created a corridor surface. But it's just an empty corridor surface at this point. There's no data assigned to it. So in order to insert data into this corridor surface, we're gonna select one of these options here under specify code. You'll see this is the add data section. Right, there's this kind of grayed out rectangle for add data. We're just going to leave it as top because we want to get the entire top surface of this corridor. But if we wanted to specify, I want you to measure everything within this layer or within or under this layer, then we could tell that as well. Because remember that the assembly has multiple layers in it, right? If you remember, there's different layers of pavement that are assigned to it. There's the base, there's the sub-base, there's the wearing surface. So it's got a few different things, layers that can be measured. We're just going to use top. We want to get the whole thing. And we'll click the plus sign to add that data to this surface. Then on the boundaries tab, you'll now see that the corridor surface has been created. If we right click on it and we add automatically, you'll see we get this option to select. We're going to add it to where it daylights. We're going to go all the way to where the corridor daylights at the existing ground. And we can click apply and rebuild. Get all the errors again. And now you'll see that the corridor looks different.
Didn't they change it?
Click apply or okay?
There's like
If you click OK, it should probably apply it, and then it'll ask you if you want to
Oh, I see
rebuild.
that.
So aside from the shape of the corridor, because I modified the profile. Aside from the shape, you should see more of these lines that run across the corridor. Does everyone have those? Does anyone not have those?
I'm stuck. I don't know. You're not letting me click anything.
Okay, so click down outside of the window. So like click down in the Windows home bar, I guess, and then back in.
I did. It's still not letting me.
Okay. We'll see. Okay, so now we got all these extra lines. What do you think these lines are? These additional ones that kind of go diagonally right here.
contour, kind of.
It's a topo, right? Yeah, so, yeah, they're just contour lines, which, I mean, would kind of be interpolated, yeah, by software right on. Yeah, these are the contour lines for this surface. And so, and you'll see if you hover over one of those lines, it says corridor surface on there. So if we select it, we click Object Viewer, up at the top left. And we change it to something else. Change a different view, so you got the view style up in the very top left. It's set to 3D hidden, but maybe realistic. You can see we've got our 3D model. Now, if you wanted to see both at the same time, you select both of them, both the existing ground surface and your corridor surface, and you get fewer options, but you can still click on the object viewer, and you can see a little bit how they interact. So you can see in this area here where there's a bunch of cut, our surface is overlapping. You can see it's kind of underneath right here.
Which one's it called?
Which one is it?
Like, to get it like the gray.
Oh, realistic. You got shaded as well. So what I would want to do with this one is I would want to troubleshoot why it's not giving me my cut. Why it's not properly showing me my you see it's not it's only showing the fill portions. So something would have to be troubleshooted. Troubleshot there. Okay. So that's the fun portion. Now we get to the telling Civil 3D to run the earthwork calculations. There's one thing that we have to do and create in order for Civil 3D to calculate the earthworks that are involved. And that's something called a group of sample lines. So up here in the Profile on Second Views panel on the Home tab, there's this option, you see sample lines. If you click on sample lines, it's going to ask you to select an alignment. You'll see down at the bottom, it says select an alignment or press enter key to select from list. I will zoom in and select the alignment here.
Oh, okay. I see this.
And we are going to create now. What is a sample line group? A sample line group is all it is it's a group of lines that are going to cross over exactly perpendicular to any given alignment that we've chosen. And it's going to place those lines at a certain distance, and we're going to specify what distance that is in a second. But that's what a collection of sample lines is. It's just just lines that cross. Because what this is these sample lines are gonna tell us what, if they were gonna tell Civil 3D, we want you to measure the cross sections between each of these lines so that it can do its earthwork calculations. Because if you may remember from, I guess would it have been the surveying class? Did you do earthwork calculations in the surveying class by hand? No.
My hand, yeah.
Yes, you did by hand, right? Good, because that's on the doing that calculation is on the California State exam for survey license exam. So hopefully you've gotten some practice at least. But there are multiple different ways, right, to calculate earthwork requirements, and we will tell Civil 3D what to do or which one to choose. But if we are going to have it do the end area method, it needs to know from what point to what point we want it to measure. So that's kind of what those sample lines represent. We'll give it a name here. Let's go. We can give it inline sample lines, and I'm gonna give it in parentheses. Inline sample lines. I'm gonna give it. Let's see. I'm going to give it in parentheses earthwork. And the reason I'm going to do this is because you can use sample lines for other things, which is going to be the last thing that we do. But you can also use sample lines to have Civil 3D create a grid, like an array of cross sections. You can have it do it every 25 feet, every half station, every full station, every 5 stations, every 1,000 feet. And it will use sample lines to the same thing. So you may end up with multiple groups or multiple collections of sample lines, one for earthwork, one for the cross sections. All right, and then, oops. We can do, let's make sure, so you'll see that we've got these boxes are checked, right? It defaults to check these boxes. We've got existing surface, main line, center line, corridor, and main line, center line, corridor surface. Okay. So we can see, we might not necessarily need to have the main line, center line, corridor checked because we also already have the corridor surface checked. So maybe I'll try unchecking that. We'll see what happens. So this is us saying which surfaces we wanted to measure between. So if we click OK, you'll see we got this, well, once again, you see this kind of offset line is following the cursor, and we've got a very glitchy window here. We've got this toolbar. We want to drop down, I believe this one right here. That's, if you hover over it, that is sample line creation methods. Drop that down, and we're going to choose by range of stations. If we only wanted to run if we only wanted to place sample lines between certain stations, we could specify what stations. We could, you'll see the way that this window works is you've got your station range, right? So from alignment start to alignment end is both true, which means right now it's assuming it's just going to place sample lines for the entire thing. But if we wanted to specify certain stations, we could change these to false and then specify whatever station we wanted to start with or end with. gonna keep it as true, because we're gonna do the whole calculated earthwork for the whole thing. And then you'll see sampling increments. Right, this sampling increments section. You can see we've got different options here. We've got increment along tangents, increment along curves, increment along spirals. Well, we don't have any spirals, so that technically doesn't matter to us. And you'll see they all have defaulted to 50 feet. So this is gonna place a sample line every 50 feet. So when it goes to do the earthwork calculations, it's gonna take the cross section at every 50 feet, at every half station. And then between each of those consecutive sample lines, that's where it's gonna calculate the area and the volume between them.
Is there any way to like specify, like say you want 100 points between your alignment, instead of doing it by like say every 50 feet, say I want 100?
Or you want like 100 lines?
Yeah.
Let's see, I don't think so. I don't, let's see. Like you wanna divide the whole corridor.
By 100, say 100.
I see. Okay. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. But 50 feet is fine. We could also maybe do 100 feet. You wouldn't necessarily want to do shorter than 25 feet, or shorter than 50, or 25, or shorter than 25. Maybe you could do 25 as well. We can leave it as 50. And click OK. This was just, once again, if you wanted to change that, this is where you go to change it. Okay. So now you'll see out here, I'm still on the sample line creation function, because that red line is still following my cursor. I'm just going to confirm by pressing spacebar or enter. And you will see a bunch of these additional stationing lines, or labels. That show up.
Yep, every 50.
Yep. And so it's kind of hard to see, but you will see right next to every single one of those station labels, you will see a kind of shorter line that goes across the corridor but doesn't go entirely all the way. At least it doesn't display all the way, I should say. Here. So I do this real quick.
Rosa, what did you click? What did you click to get that?
I just undid it and I'm redoing it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
do I need to do that?
No.
Oh.
I'm just checking things here. Okay, one thing that I would have done actually when I was going through this is what I would do is I would change the width of those the width on each side of those sample lines. Yeah, you're good, you're good. I just missed that step. But, I would change it to something that we know is going to surpass the, surpass all the daylighting. So if I come back out here, let's see, what's my widest point? It's somewhere over here. So I might just, measure here from here, oh, I see what's going on. There we go. I would probably say, I think my widest point here is 350 from the center line, so I might, or 340, so I might go 350. Now what did I do? This is what happens when you accidentally press something while clicking enter. Specify section. Oh, there they are. That's one. All right. Now you see mine have are much wider. They encompass the entire width of my corridor. So that's kind of what I would want to see. There we go. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is up on the Analyze tab. In the Volumes and Materials panel, we're gonna click Compute Materials.
I'm sorry, Professor, what do you click? Oh,
On the Analyze tab,
okay. And then,
Compute Materials on the Volumes and Materials. Okay.
thanks.
Okay, so we'll select the alignment. We've only got the one. Select our sample line group. So now, if we had multiple sample line groups, this would tell, even for the same alignment, this would tell us we're going to use the one for earthwork as opposed to the one for cross sections. Okay. Okay, so what you'll see here is this little tree, the Christmas tree thing right here, it's got both, for the surfaces, you've got existing ground branch, you've got a datum branch. For the existing ground branch, we are going to choose the existing surface. And you see when you select that, it changes the surface for these two kind of smaller branches. And then on datum, we're going to use the corridor surface. And you can see, we can specify if we wanted to do a different calculation style. We can have it run earthworks in those ways, but we can leave it as average and areas. Any questions? Okay, click OK. Alright, and then it doesn't seem, once again, doesn't really seem like that much has happened. So then what we're gonna do is right to the left of compute materials, we're gonna click on volume report. We'll select the alignment, select the sample line group, we got that's already pre-selected, select material list, that's fine. Sounds good, that's fine. I would uncheck the display XML report, and we'll just click OK. Okay, see it brings up nice big chart with all this data for every one of these stations. And then the last thing, with calculating earthwork at least, is right below compute materials, there's mass haul. You click on that. Once again, we're just gonna select the appropriate objects we want here. We've got the alignment that we want, sample line group that we want. We can give it a name if we'd like. This would be the name, click next.
What would you call it? Like mass what?
Mass haul. Okay, these are all fines. On the second tab, click next. Alright, now we get to the option to specify a free haul distance. So we can say 1,000 feet, who knows, right? Whatever is in the contract. Okay. We're gonna ignore the borrow pits or dump sites, because that would require some more knowledge of the staging that we don't have. I'm gonna click create diagram and place it somewhere. It's quite big.
Oh, I don't get to see it.
Oh no.
They're going, no.
And mine's coming up like his.
Maybe you could redo it.
Not yours. Which
I
is
do know
what?
that's one.
I just got like a
Do I
different
click
shape.
delete?
Oh, yes.
Well, yes, because
What's so pretty? You got what we did.
it's because everyone was changing the profile, right? As you change the profile, it's gonna modify the cut and fill requirements.
So I go to.
So if I, once again, and now you'll see this right here, if I did this,
And then I just do
So
everything.
shift that whole thing. Oh,
okay, so mine, it doesn't like that.
Everything being beyond.
Let's let's try to rebuild and see what happens.
Yeah. Need everything.
There we go.
Wait, what is mine is completely different. Like it doesn't have the right here. It doesn't have like the colors like everybody.
Oh, that's fine. The colors will only show up if you chose your free haul distance. If you didn't put it in, did you not put it in?
Oh, it doesn't want that one.
Because
Yeah, I put that in like
that's probably what that
this
means.
right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I put that 1,000.
You
here.
did?
Mhm.
Go ahead and like run through it again,
Okay.
just to create a new one.
Okay, so delete it. Okay, so go to here.
Yep.
Just keep everything, and then I'll just say
Yep.
everything keeps.
Next. Okay, that's good. Next, freehold distance, okay. Okay. That might be a style thing that was changed. So just, you don't have to delete this, just go back into that hole. Let's see here.
We are here, style view, standard, basic.
No, I don't remember, I don't know what mine.
Because it's more likely than not something like that. It's basic. Total volume, basic. They're both basic for the general and
Yeah.
small display options.
Yeah.
If that's the case, we'd just have to look more in depth. and see.
Okay, but is it gonna affect me later? Okay.
The only thing that this does really is it visualizes, what the colors do is it visualizes where.
What's cut and what's
what
not.
area is covered by the freehold distance and what is not.
Oh, okay, I see, yeah.
So
Very good. Well,
all of our blue area is covered. So. Although this also doesn't seem to be right, so I'm not exactly sure why it's doing this. But, once again, that would require some investigation, and I suspect it has to do with the faulty surface. Okay, now let's say we want to do a bunch of cross sections. Because cross sections are something we will put on a plan set. We won't do them, just depending on what we're trying to specify and how important it is. We don't necessarily have to have too many, but we're just gonna do it, we'll do it with the same, we'll try it with the same sample line collection, and we'll see what happens. So back on the home tab, right below sample lines, you've got section views. And then we've got this first option, create multiple views. Okay, we've got the alignment properly selected, the sample line group, name, line, section view name. Let's go here, let's go. I'll actually leave that, I will leave the section view name alone. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we want to click on draft here and not production, because production is like it's gonna think it's placing on a different drawing. Yeah. Yeah, I did not change anything. I just checked to make sure that the alignment was good, or selected, the proper alignment was selected and the proper sample line group was selected. And then you can give it a name if you want to, but if you specify a name here, it's gonna make the name of every single one of those, every single one of the cross sections it makes the same. So if we leave it kind of like this, it's gonna, you'll see section view station. So we could leave, if we left the station there, then we could put something afterward. But aside from that, next, on the section placement, we'll choose draft. change anything else. If you needed to change a style, we can change the style here on the display options. But this is all fine. You got ground removal is cut, fill is fill. Looks good. So we'll create section views. And I'll place it over here to the right. And it's a good thing because we have a decent number of them. There we go. And you'll see it creates a ton of cross sections.
Oh, they like brace it up.
It does what?
Every chunk of 50, you broke it up.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. And then you would put every single one of these on a plan at a certain scale, and give them give this as long along with all the other things to the contractor in your drawing package that was like several hundred or thousands of pages long.
So is this how they like make sure they're not going off level, basically?
This is you mean they being the contractor?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
to make sure they're like not going too like high or whatever.
Yeah, it's used for reference for them. Say, hey, at this station, you should be doing what looks like close to 10 feet of cut here at the end of the shoulder. And then they'd have some drainage thing every now and then along this part of the lane. Like going into and out of the page or out of the screen right here, you have drainage every so often in this little ditch right here. And maybe same thing here, draining out and across and through, something like that. But yes. Yep.
Did you adjust scale setting or anything?
Nope.
I'm not sure if I did something wrong, but my sections are like boxes or like squares, not rectangles.
But they show the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that may, oh, you know what? I think the reason is that your sample lines are shorter, right? Because I gave you
Oh.
longer sample lines. So that would be why. And, well, that's it. So, now, before we get into the project, I'll say that the idea with the project is first and foremost to get a design completed, right? So you're going to run through the whole process. You're going to be given those beginning and ending, station, elevation, slope, and bearing, right? And then you as a team get to choose your whatever alignment to get you from point A to point B. There will be a side road that will cross the area that I actually can't remember if it is or is not drawn in yet. I don't think it is, so you may have to draw that in as well. But just know that street is a straight line. It's a straight line both in the horizontal sense and in the vertical alignment sense. So that should help a little bit and keep it simple. So you'll put together your horizontal alignment. You'll choose the widths. You are told how many lanes are needed in each direction. But aside from that, you'll have to use your knowledge of and use the highway design manual. You can decide some of to choose a median width, the shoulder widths, and those kinds of things. Put together the horizontal alignment. And I recommend getting basically through the entirety of the main line first. The reason I say that is because the on-ramp, you'll do one on-ramp and one off-ramp. The profiles of those ramps depend on the profile and the existing elevation of your main line, right? And so, for instance, if I had this on-ramp drawn, or off-ramp drawn rather, I can see that it starts right here. It's a little bit crowded. So what I might do is I might freeze some of these layers, right? I might freeze sample lines, I might freeze the corridor surface, and maybe even the corridor. Actually, I didn't want to do that. I did not want to freeze the corridor surface. So I will freeze the sample lines and I guess that's it for the time being. What I could do, this corridor surface is just like another surface. If I select it, I can open the edit surface style. Under display, I can turn off the minor contours. So we'll see what that looks like here. Okay. So now you can see it's only got the major contours here. If I select it, I can see exactly where my alignment for my off-ramp ends. So by selecting the corridor surface on the transparent ribbon, if I drop down add labels on the left, I can add spot elevations. This is exactly what we did several weeks ago when we were just looking at topo surface. Although I might recommend with big files like this, zooming in and let's do that. Add labels, spot elevation, and just place one, and then wait for it to. There we go. There we go. So now the elevation. Oops, that is not the point I want. I want this one. All right, the elevation at the very beginning of the alignment for my off-ramp is 3044.84, and that is the elevation of the highway at that point. Makes it a lot easier. And then I could look at the relative station over here and see, okay, it's at a station of 113 something. I'd have to place a label. We did that last week, right? We placed a label here, found what station, went down here to that station, and roughly found the grade. So that's why I recommend do the main line, do everything with the main line first. Realize that as part of the project requirements, you're going to have to go either over or under the side street. So you're going to have to design your vertical alignment to give you a certain minimum clearance from this street. So you may actually end up drawing the side street up first. But anyways, it's better for you to see it and not for me to just talk about it. Let's go. file, the project's file should be available now. For you to take a look at. Let's go take a look at it together.